Hey everybody, and welcome back to Split Couch Games. I'm Scott, and I'm going to be talking about a few things you can do to win more Gears of War 4 games right now with absolutely no practice. This list is by no means complete, so if you have any of your own suggestions, let everyone know down in the comments. Number 1. Spotting. To spot an enemy, all you have to do is aim at the enemy and then click the left thumbstick. It's super easy, and it's going to give your team an audible ping and a little marker right above the enemy's head. Do this as much as you can, just to give your teammates knowledge of where the enemy is at any given moment. I've even developed a bit of an automatic clutch with my fingers that when I pull the left trigger, I automatically click the left thumbstick, so anytime I aim at an enemy, I automatically mark them. And it's so helpful for everyone on my team, because again, they just get to see exactly where the enemy is. On top of giving the location of the enemy, you can pull up the TACCOM with the left bumper and you'll see a full outline of the enemy. This will tell you what weapon they're holding, whether they're standing or crouching in cover, or even if they're down just waiting for someone to kill them. You can even see all these things if the enemy is covered in smoke, so you really can tell if they're pushing through smoke if you spot them as they're throwing a smoke grenade, for instance. I can't stress how valuable this is. And it's so incredibly underused, especially by teams that aren't communicating with a microphone and you can't call things out audibly. You can visually pinpoint exactly where people are with a simple button press, so please use this more and you'll win more games, I guarantee it. Tip number 2, have a good opening rush planned out. Most players have an idea of what they want to do at the beginning of a round, but too many people don't end up in a good position. A couple of rules to follow when figuring out a plan are, first, fight for the midline. Gears of War maps are symmetrical, so that means that both teams automatically control about 40% of the map at the start. It's important that you try and gain map presence in the opening, and the way to do that is to control that midline. The midline is generally where the power line... The midline is easily seen as the line that connects the major power weapons on the map. In some cases you don't need to be right on the line, but majority of the time you'll want to be close to it. Even if you're using an assault rifle because you're not confident with your shotgun or you don't like the shotgun, then you'll want to be able to rotate and find angles on enemies in the area that you're fighting for, whether it's a power weapon or a high ground. And it's a lot more difficult to do that if you're not close to it. Second, find the fastest route to where you want to go. The player that reaches the midline the fastest will have a huge advantage, and they'll be able to get the first shot off or be able to position themselves to counter what the enemy is doing. Most of these are easy to find and don't take any practice, but some routes are a little more complicated. But generally, if you're running in as many straight lines as possible, you're going to get there fast. You can also use the cover by sliding into it and slingshotting around it. It's actually a little bit faster, but not required. Third, throw a smoke grenade. Not enough people throw smoke grenades at the beginning of rounds. I'm going to do a tutorial on smoke grenades soon, but I want to give a quick pointer right now. Smoke grenades don't have to be perfect on the opening rush, so take a guess at where the enemy might come from and throw it right there. Doorways or on their side of cover near power weapons are great places to land a smoke grenade. If you decide that you don't need a smoke grenade where you're going, you can also throw a smoke grenade to help a teammate. Those are some of the basics of an opening rush that should help your rounds get off to a good start. If you want me to go more in depth on this in a future video, just let me know in the comments. I could do a full 20-minute episode on opening rushes probably. For a variety of different maps and different situations. Number 3, stick with your teammates. We've all had bad teammates and we've all had good teammates, but every teammate can use help. Some teammates are more aggressive than you're comfortable with, but abandoning them is not always the right option. If they're being reckless, there isn't much you can do. But if they're fighting someone, at least try and give a little support with your assault rifle, or fly in with a shotgun to help, whatever the case may be. A few shots from distance can be the difference between a death and a kill for your team. If you end up in a crazy intense battle and you know your teammate has stayed in, don't abandon them. Stay in and fight. If you leave, the enemies can simply turn and focus on your teammate, resulting in certain death for them. But if you stay and fight, you have a chance to make something happen. You won't win all of those, but you have a better chance than abandoning a teammate and then getting chased down by let's say 2 or 3 people that want to fight against your teammate. Number 4, play patiently. Gears is a naturally defensive game. That's a result of it being a cover-based shooter, right? If you leave cover, you're leaving yourself vulnerable. If you can get an opponent to attack you, you have the advantage of being behind that cover. Knowing when to be aggressive is important, but playing solidly and passively will give you a lot of advantages. Try and get weaker players to make a mistake and take the easy kills. This doesn't mean to sit back in the map though. It's important to maintain the map presence that I mentioned earlier. Position yourself aggressively on the map as a whole, but don't overpress or give up any advantage that you have unless you have to. Number 5. Choose your moments to be aggressive. Playing patiently is super important, but there will come a time when you have to make something happen. When that time comes, make sure it's as safe as possible and try to get yourself some type of advantage. Things like pushing with teammates, throwing a smoke grenade, or moving to get an angle are some of the ways to do that. The biggest thing to make sure of is that if you do make a push, you're not going to run into more than you can handle. Check to make sure that if you're making a move, that you're making a move into at least equal numbers. If it's just you, don't push into 2 enemies, for instance. Be smart with your pushes, just make sure that you take into account all of the different factors, because if you just fly in, that's how you get yourself caught out of position. Number 6, avoid tilting. I made a video about this a couple weeks ago. Went a little more in depth than I'm going to go in here right now, so you guys can check that out. The link will be in the description below. But the worst thing you can do mid-game is to get tilted. You'll start playing poorly and lose even more, and if what you're doing isn't working, you need to adjust your playstyle. Take stock of where you're at after every single round. Maybe even after every death, whatever works for you. I personally will quickly reflect on what I did the previous round after every team deathmatch round. And then from there I will make any adjustments that I need to make. Maybe I was being too aggressive, I'll pull it back and I will pull out my Lancer a lot more often, or perhaps try a different opening rush. Whatever the case may be, I will try something different. And keeping in mind that losing a round doesn't mean that you lose the game. There's so many times where either my team will absolutely dominate the first round of team deathmatch, and then we'll end up losing because we got overconfident and we didn't make any adjustments. And the same goes the other way around. My team sometimes loses the first round, and we're able to make our adjustments, and we come back and we win pretty easily after that. Even though the first round of a team deathmatch game, we lose with only 5 kills on our team, and we should be getting absolutely dominated the next round. We make an adjustment, but our enemies don't. So to avoid tilting, just make your adjustments as you need it. Don't try and keep pushing and doing the exact same thing if it's not working. The 7th and final tip for today's video is use all of your weapons. Too many people think that Gears of War is a shotgun-only game. In reality, you have 3 weapons at your disposal. Use your assault rifle of choice to support teammates, and you'll see your win totals increase. Most people swap out their assault rifle for a power weapon pickup, and that's totally fine. But when that power weapon runs out, you still have your pistol, and the pistol is weaker than an assault rifle, but it can still be used to great effect at distance. If you are consistently using your ranged weapons, you're going to get some hate messages from people who think assault rifles are stupid, and I've gotten called plenty of names for it, but really they're just mad that they lost. So use everything at your disposal. Don't limit yourself to just one thing because it's quote-unquote cool. And that does it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments below. I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you next time on Split Couch Games.